All right, everyone, as the fateful day approaches, yes, Inauguration Day tomorrow, thank the Lord, so to speak, link in the description, there are two things that Donald Trump is pledging to do. Number one, save TikTok. To say that this was not on my bingo card list would be a huge understatement. The fact that Donald Trump is going to, at least temporarily, save a platform's ability to operate on which he's universally criticized, mainly by younger voters, is hysterical to me. Because a bunch of young people, a bunch of Gen Zers, are about to get red-pilled about who actually supports their right to express themselves. Now, on the TikTok ban issue, I do not use TikTok. I will never use TikTok. I don't like TikTok, and I admit that they're data gathering. My point is, though, I don't support the U.S. government at the legislative level being unilaterally capable of banning people from utilizing a website and banning U.S. companies from working with them. That's number one. Number two, the data gathering was already happening on US-based sites anyway. Facebook has been bundling data and selling it to the Chinese now for several decades. I'm sure that Twitter was doing that as well before Elon took control. Hell, maybe they're doing it now. It's one of the primary business models of Meta. Well, you think when you use Instagram and you're talking to people, you think that that doesn't end up in Beijing? Of fucking course it does, because it's lucrative. They want to be able to serve ads and shit like that. Well, they need user data in order to efficiently do that. And so it goes through Chinese firms. Now, most of the time it's just to make money. But at any given moment, Beijing is capable of forcing those companies to give over the user data. When people therefore say, well, TikTok, maybe they're not giving the data to the Chinese government, they can, and they can be forced to do so. Absolutely. So can literally any other company in China, and they've already been gobbling down that data. They simply had to pay for it. It's the only difference. You've cut out the middleman. That's literally the only difference. Then, Trump is pledging to pardon the J6ers. Now, whether this is going to be a blanket pardon or a targeted pardon remains yet to be seen. I'm not sure, but it appears to have been confirmed that yes, Trump on day one does intend to issue pardons for the J6ers. At this point, I would support just a blanket pardon. My original wish was go through it, have people go through the actual charges, look at the evidence, like have lawyers look through it, and find out this case is bullshit. This case is, well, they've been held for several years for simple trespass that makes no sense, but that individual smacked a cop in the head with an iron rod. Maybe we don't want to pardon them. Now, it looks like they didn't get started quickly enough, unless there's something going on behind closed doors that we don't know about. That's always possible. Maybe it will be targeted pardons. I would just issue a blanket pardon. Anyone arrested for entering the Capitol on January 6th, gets a pardon. I'm commuting their sentences and stuff. I would even do this for people who had engaged in certain violent crimes, like simple assault. Normally, you don't get several years in prison, sitting in the hole most of that time, by the way, for simple assault. The maximum penalty, generally speaking, is going to be 90 days in jail and, a fine. That's basically what you get. And especially for first-time offenders, there tends to be leniency in the prison system, in the so-called legal system. It was never extended to any of these people. Some of them cracked immediately and just took a plea deal. And part of it was a struggle session. They had to, write a letter. Oh, I apologize so much. I realized that I was so wrong. I was misled by the evil orange fascist. It's literally a Soviet-style struggle session. Yes, he should just fucking pardon them all. Just let them all go. Even like the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, or whatever they were, that were planning violence. Just let them go too. Trump isn't, even if he pardons just one J6er, so it's some old lady, some 80-year-old went into the rotunda and took a selfie and has been held without bail for years and years now. Even if he just pardons her, one person, he's still going to get shit from the lamestream media. The legacy media is going to crucify him no matter who he pardons. So just fucking do it. TikTok ban comes to mind too. It's gone dark right now. Trump vows to reinstate it and allow them to function. This will result in a legal battle. He's trying to give them breathing room to sell off, the subsidiary company. TikTok is owned by ByteDance. This is a Chinese firm. He's trying to give them breathing room. The legislature might go against him and force a lawsuit. Now, SCOTUS has upheld the original ability to ban the site, which I find extremely alarming. I find it alarming that both liberal and conservative justices would believe that the legislature of the United States has the unilateral authority to ban Americans from interacting with something foreign simply because it's declared to be a national security issue. Again, where is it in the Constitution that they have the right to do that? I thought that we were a free market society. I thought we had freedom of association. I thought we were capitalistic. All of these things apply. Is the site owned by communists? Yeah, technically speaking, it is. Is that really a national security risk? Then I saw liberal commentators like Nikki Fried, for example. Oh, she's the most sour grapes liberal I've ever seen, pretty much. Complaining because in 2020, of course, Donald Trump got the ball rolling on, supposedly, a ban on TikTok. But it was only for government devices. Now, if it's taxpayer-funded government devices that are hooked into potentially secure material, yes, it is absolutely the right of Congress to declare that government-owned devices, in other words, taxpayer-paid-for devices, can be prevented from using a foreign app. That's absolutely constitutional. But to tell some random 20-year-old, no, you're not allowed to use TikTok anymore, you can't get it in the App Store, you can't even access the app, is ludicrous. It's completely ridiculous. Yeah, you have the right to use that. Is it necessarily a good idea? No, of course not. And some of these people are going to be flocking to YouTube. I expect YouTube to be overrun temporarily by millions of tweens, and the cringe is going to be monumental. It's going to give me a fucking headache. But that being said, they should be able to use TikTok. They're private citizens. They have the right of free expression. They have the right of free association. They have the right to trade freely. Supposedly, all of these things are very much on paper, quite literally, and the government routinely disrespects them. It's just like you have the right to keep and bear arms, except if the government decides that you're not allowed to keep and bear arms. You have the right to a fair trial unless the government doesn't like you. And you have the right, apparently, to express yourself, but only on venues that the government approves of. We're slipping into a European-style society at this point. We're becoming decadent and not fighting for our rights. The hope is we can fight with our voices, but the government keeps attacking our ability to do so. TikTok ultimately doesn't have total free speech. Go on there and try to criticize the Communist Party of China. You won't last long. How is that different from the fact that if you go on Twitch and you have the wrong political beliefs, you will be banned? I was banned on Twitch. I had about 5,000 followers there. I was doing actually pretty well on Twitch for a while. But then I got banned. And they didn't even give me a reason at first. Then they gave me two separate reasons. Hate speech was one of them, and spam and scam or something like that. And I'm like, I'm not even going to bother appealing this. You people are retarded. This happens on YouTube. This happens on every site. They all have their political proclivities. It's just natural. It's going to happen. It doesn't really matter if it's a foreign-owned site. So I approve of both of Trump's ideas here. You should just blanket pardon the J6ers, or at very least blanket pardon anyone charged with a non-violent offense, a misdemeanor slash misdemeanor. Simple assault again. They've already served their time. They're still being held in the fucking hole. And I definitely approve of saving TikTok. Not because I like it, not because I use it, but simply out of principle. I have principles with regards to free speech. Cringe as fuck? Yeah. Is there propaganda on there? Yeah. Is it censorious? Of course. How is that different from Facebook? There is no difference. That's about all. Peace out.